I have never really done a video like this, but recently I've been getting these questions that I'm gonna go over a lot. So I figured I might as well answer them like this, instead of having to answer them one by one all the time. But before going into that, let me introduce myself. People that know me call me Fufu, and I am a very lazy editor that really enjoys making montages. However, I am also a guild lead and a shot caller for so long that I am in desperate need of therapy. That being said, I have been through the highest peaks of video, but also the lowest lows, so I do have a really strong opinion about whatever they did to Black Desert over the last couple years. But that's enough about myself, so let's just jump into it. To answer the question why I prefer Throne and Liberty over Black Desert, I first have to go over how I even got into Black Desert to begin with, or why. And don't worry, I will not tell you my life story now, and instead just show you this on the screen. This right here is why I started playing Black Desert. Not because I saw someone grinding circuits all day, or live skilling in some random corner of the map. I got into the game because I saw videos of guilds just going at each other, and you seemingly never ran out of PvP. And seeing all that kind of just like had me going, right? And I just jumped into the game, and after a while, I got exactly what I wanted. Days of just like sitting there with your homies and PvPing for hours on end. Drama around basically every corner, and full as propaganda meme wars with other guilds. The game back then was just so good if you were a PvP enjoyer like myself. And I cannot forget to mention that the original Node Wars and Sieges were so much better. And guess what? All of that? Gone. But I will not sit here and go over all the details, because I would sit here for hours ranting my ass off as my voice gets increasingly louder and more German. Ooh, so I'm going to calm down really quick and just say it how it is, right? Black Desert has lost its core identity by nuking down PvP to essentially a pile of fucking rubbish, by reducing player-to-player interactions, and by just straight up voiding all the efforts you put into your gear over the years. And all of that made people quit, made guilds disband, and now it's at a point where, in my opinion, it's irreversible damage. And I'm gonna keep it real here, right? Because now we're getting into the good stuff. I had more fun in the couple days I have played the open beta test of Throne and Liberty on arguably the worst patch they could have done for it than the last year I've played BDO. And it was crazy to me because I was the biggest Throne and Liberty hater in our guild. Like, whenever somebody brought up Throne and Liberty, I would rip them apart, right? But then I got to play it, and it was so refreshing to just play a game that actually just felt like a guild-driven PvP MMO again. So yeah, I prefer Throne and Liberty over the current state of Black Desert by miles. It's not even close, and it's all because I really enjoy spending time with my guild, jumping from event to event, joining the insane PvP on world bosses, waiting for nighttime to start to just go into an open world dungeon, to just PvP for the sakes of it, and much more. The game will also only get more content as it goes on, because Korea had a very promising roadmap. Now, I will not get my hopes up because PA traumatized me, but it does look very promising. Alright, I hope that answers the question why I, guys, listen to me closely, personally prefer Throne and Liberty over Black Desert. Now to the small ones. The combat. Now I will keep it really short because the combat is a topic that's mostly personal preference, but obviously it's also the topic that Black Desert players bring up the most. And I'm gonna be real, right? You can't compare the two. So the only thing that I can say is, if you played the open beta and you hated the game for the combat, just give it another try. Because the skill specialization patch changed a lot. It added a lot of AoE, made the combat feel more fast-paced and satisfying, and it essentially also changed the dynamic how pushes work. But yeah, personally, I don't mind the combat, because first of all, for me it's more about the content of the game instead of the combat or the graphics. And second of all, I played ArcheAge and Guild Wars 2, and I really enjoyed this kind of combat. Now I do have to say though, after playing ArcheAge and Guild Wars 2, I still feel like Throne and Liberty is lacking something. However, I can't quite wrap my head around what that might be, but it isn't really a big deal for me. Alright, on to everyone's favorite topic in the West, pay to win!
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Jokes aside, that's it. I did make this video because I was bored and had these questions being repeated on Discord and in comments of the teaser video I put out and all that. So I do hope that this video kind of answers all the questions that people throw at me and that I don't have to repeat my answers 24/7. And yeah, it was a good way to kill some time before release. Okay, goodbye guys. Don't like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.